The Silly Goose Gang Podcast.
And Ali's going to try and hotspot and see if he can join in. He'll join in. If not, it'll just be us. So
cool.
So thank you for joining us. I'm a little bit dark now because some lights have went off here as well. We're having some technical issues, but we'll make do. So, but anyway, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked. Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Ali set this up. He can't be here, but we've been interested in what you guys are doing over there for a while. I think like a lot of people, I don't know why there's a fascination with like Norse culture and everything around about Iceland. And why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. I think it's primitive almost, and people are they feel a need to reattach to that part of life. And whenever it comes to say like the Norse culture and stuff like that, it is pretty primitive. You know, like there's not a lot about it. When you think about it, you think of just, I guess, the something that we're lacking nowadays, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely it does. And talking about things that we're lacking, Ali has joined us. After we're talking off camera there, I've lost a light. One of my lights has went, so we've it's a bit of a fuck up. That's fine. We're not professional. So yeah, we've literally just started recording, so you haven't missed anything. I haven't slagged you off yet. So
awesome. Nice to meet you, Andy, as well.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Glad you're here.
We got there then. So we're talking before Ali's internet fucked up. I was just talking about some of your flags. So I might have to go and get one of your flags because I think that would look kind of cool up here. One of the Norse Fitness ones with the axes, the cross.
That'd be awesome, man.
So
I'll send you one. Just shoot me an address afterwards.
I'll get one of those because we like to get. I know you can't see them now, but there's two shark pictures there. So Mike Bolton was a previous guest, and he's a fucking cool guy. The coolest, craziest old guy in the world. Mike's about, I don't even know what age he is, 80.
I think he was 84, I think he was, and his official job title is Pirate Treasure Hunter.
Oh wow, that sounds awesome. And I want his job.
He films, so he photographs sharks. He's done some stuff with Ocean Ramsey, who's a big deal. I don't know if you know who she is.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
So I got some of his pictures, and I've got a antler shed up there from Laura Zera. So I like to have things from guests. It's pretty cool. So I'll grab one of your flags, man. Definitely have it up there because they're really cool. So So what's Ali was telling me beforehand that it's a really interesting backstory to Norse Fitness.
Yeah, man. So I started Norse back in 2015, 2014, something like that. And really, man, it was probably one of the lowest points in my life. Like depression is something that I've always struggled with, mental health in general, I guess. Who knows what it's caused by, maybe genetics a little bit because it runs in the family, but then also just, childhood bullshit, difficulties, whatever you want to call it. And whenever I was in my mid 20s, it was really bad. I was in a band prior to that. So I spent from the time I was 18 till I was 25 touring, and it's fun and all. And it was my dream at the time, but it also was a very toxic lifestyle. I was just on the road all the time. I was sleeping on people's floors or in a van. I was always drunk, just pretty much 7 years straight, just drunk all the time. And it got to the point, man, where because all the lyrics around this band were based around the worst parts of my life, up to that point. And so every night I was just reliving the same shit over and over. And it was bad, man. It got really bad. So I realized I needed to make a change. And the opposite of what I was doing was working out. So I started going to the gym, and it made me feel a lot better. As anyone that has exercise can vouch for, like it makes you feel better mentally, physically, everything. So I started working out, but I didn't identify with the fitness industry, I guess, at least not in the realm I was in down in Florida. And I don't know if you guys ever been to Florida, but it's douchebag central. Like it's nothing but just douchebags, man. So I was going to the gym, and I was like, I love what I'm doing. I love pushing myself. I love everything involved with it, but I hate all these people around me. And what I noticed was everyone was just in there pretty much to feed their ego. Like they would go in there and pretty much just do arms and shoulders and then go hit the nightclub, because that's what Florida is. It's nothing but bars and nightclubs. So I didn't identify with any of these people. And I was like, all right, well, this is extremely beneficial for me, but I can't identify with it. So that's when I created Norse. Honestly, it was supposed to be just, this is what you guys are doing. I don't want any part of it. Here's my own thing. And as far as the name and everything goes, that was a no-brainer for me, because my mom's whole side of the family is from Norway. I grew up listening to tales and all that stuff about the sagas and, Odin, Thor, all that good stuff. So when I was working out, I was kind of like, I noticed I was embodying that. Like whenever I needed motivation, that's the stuff I was thinking about, was these old stories I heard growing up. And if I needed extra motivation, I would just read some of that stuff. So that's what I wanted to embody with Norse. Like you have Thor, and Thor's like the epitome of like the strong man. Then you have Odin, this guy that's on a constant pursuit of life, just always wanting more out of life. And that I identified exactly with what I was going after. So I got some tank tops made, and that was kind of like a battle flag for us. So, and by us, I mean like me and two other dudes in Panama City that were lifting, that, was separate from all that stuff. And those 25 tank tops, I sold out of the trunk of my car for like a year. I never even thought about making an online store. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to sell these out of the trunk of my car for a while. And eventually, like I put some online, people liked it, and it just kind of grew from there. But really the whole thing with Norse since the beginning is the mindset aspect. It's around fitness, but there's so much more to it. And the more that it's progressed, the more that really that idea has become more concrete of what exactly it stands for. And, like behind me is the abandoned modern culture thing. That's kind of our slogan, like abandoned modern culture. Well, what does that mean? Modern culture in general, to me, it's weakness. Like it's weakness personified. Everyone embraces this weak mindset to stay in their comfort zone and all these different things. So abandoned modern culture to me is like abandon all these weak aspects of society that we have nowadays that didn't exist a couple hundred years ago, and especially 1,000 years ago and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really like the short and simple of Norse.
Yeah, well, I agree wholeheartedly. That's something that me and Ali are both a big part of. Is not recently we just started jumping in locks again on a Sunday morning. Just a few of the guys from jiu-jitsu. Let's get in a cold lock and let's just embrace that suck. Ali can't because his legs are fucked, but I love lifting weights. I was just squatting and deadlifting tonight actually before I came over. So yeah, I agree. There's so many things in modern culture that are, to use a fantastic Scottish phrase, are as soft as shite. So yeah,
that's exactly it. But we encourage it. Everywhere that we look now, it's encouraged. You look at what they're teaching in schools. That's the kind of shit that they're encouraging kids, man. Like when we were growing up, I remember realizing this for the first time when I was about 15 years old. I was on the bus going to school, and these two kids, obviously there's two boys, they just wanted to throw down. Like they just wanted to fight. They had beef with each other. They just wanted to fight. And that's part of being a boy. Like we're supposed to just wrestle and fight, and then you shake hands. And nowadays, at least in like my school system, 15, 20 years ago, shit, I'm getting old, but it was, I remember they were talking about, if you even talked about getting into a fight, they would put you in handcuffs and take you to jail. That's how extreme it was getting. It's like, so this natural part of who we are as a species, or you look at the animal kingdom, you got dogs, you have lions, that's just what males do. They wrestle, they fuck around with each other. And now you had a school system telling kids that if they even talked about fighting, they were going to get put in handcuffs and taken away. So where does that aggression go? Because that's what it is. It's aggression that the youth has. It's a natural thing, especially during like those teenage years when testosterone soaring and all these other things. So that's actually the first time I noticed it. And I remember thinking at 15, that's fucked. That, because you could tell these kids wanted to fight, but they wouldn't because of the repercussions that were set into place. But then you look at the media, and what is the media promoting? We've seen it during COVID. it's not exercise, it's not health or anything like that. It's get as weak as possible. Do the opposite of what we're supposed to do as a species, or just as part of being on the planet Earth in general. And then you look at the propaganda that's being pushed on social media and all these other things, and it's like you guys said, it's soft. It's soft. And it doesn't just apply to men, it applies to women as well. Like all these things that we've been practicing for thousands of years that has made us who we are, embracing discomfort, embracing exploration, all these different things are now we're being told that we shouldn't do that kind of stuff. But in all reality, that is the only way to progress as a person, is to just really embrace that discomfort. Because once you embrace that discomfort, you realize how much more you're capable of achieving, and you go from there.
Yeah, 100%. So, I don't know. Do you do any martial arts?
I do Muay Thai. Yeah. So I messed around with jujitsu for a
Okay.
minute, and at the time it was, I want to get involved with jujitsu again eventually, but it wasn't my speed. You said that you do jujitsu, and I'm sure that you can vouch for it. Like the first 6 months is just, what the fuck am I doing? And with Muay Thai, I gave it a shot. I'm like, okay, I can get in here and I can start progressing rapidly. It's fast paced, it's aggressive. And
so were you doing gi jiu-jitsu, or were you doing no gi?
I was doing a little bit of both. The school that I was going to, they did both. So yeah, I messed around with both aspects, and I liked it. It's just, I caught a lot. I realized I was staring at the clock the most of the time. And I was like, that's not good. I need something that's going to kind of,
it's all relevant because, so I came from a boxing background and got to do jiu-jitsu, but either one's relevant because constantly you're put in a position where this is fucking awful. And the repercussions of this, if this was real life, Ali loves a triangle. So Ali caught me in a triangle maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was one of those things. It's worse because of your friend. It's like, I will not tap to this asshole. There's no fucking way. And it was that, as we always talk, the horns, we always say this genuinely, the horns of Valhalla were ringing out, and we're going,
not giving in.
Click. So yeah, that was and that's and the reality of that. 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, it would have killed me. I would have been dead because it would have been an actual fight, and it would have resulted in a death.
Right.
And I think just to put yourself in these positions sometimes to realize, we're not as important as we think we are. And it's the same with, I like climbing hills, Andy. I don't know if you spend any time in the hills, but it's the same thing. I like to climb hills, especially at night on my own. Like a psycho, there's actually a great story about my Leatherman, and to be on because you think to yourself when you're in the hills at night alone, if something terrible happens, and you die, nothing changes.
No, life goes on for everybody else.
Eventually, some animals will find you, and they'll pick away your body, and they'll eat you. Literally what happens. So when a couple of times like on getting to the top of our Scottish Munros, the weather will change, and like that, beautiful day, cloudy, and I got lost on a hill called Chihalion that I know really well. I love that hill, and the weather changed so fast, and I got lost, genuinely lost, where you're going, shit. And it's this, like, you're so vulnerable all the time, and it could happen so quickly. So I think you kind of lose that just day-to-day bullshit. The shit that, as you're saying, when you were a kid and you hold on to stuff, you just kind of lose all that stuff because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
That's a good point, man. And I think because we're so out of touch with the real world, because in all reality, that's what it is. Like, we live in a man-made world. Like, our reality that we are currently in is man-made, every bit and piece of it. So people that actually go out and, they run the hills or they go camping and they detach from it and they get back into the real world. As what I mean by real world is, everything outside of this concrete jungle that we live in. that's exactly how you feel. You feel small, but at the same time, you realize that your daily bullshit, it doesn't fucking matter. It's like, okay, these are man-made problems. They're not real problems. I'm not getting chased by a fucking 500-pound bear or whatever it is, or I don't have this tribe, across the way trying to get me. And like, I've been to Scotland, and those hills, man, like, they're intimidating. You look at them, especially at the bottom of them, and if you're in a place where you're surrounded by them, you just feel small because of these. I don't know what it is about the Scottish hills, but they're very intimidating. They're not just regular mountains; they are intimidating. But it's a good perspective.
Whereabouts were you?
So I went to Edinburgh, Glasgow, Isle of Skye.
Okay, so the
Cullen around with a few other places.
The Cullen Range in Isle of Skye is particularly intimidating. They're really beautiful hills, but there is I think because one of the so I like to do triathlons as well, Andy, and one of the extreme iron distance triathlons that I've failed at twice, the mountain range that they're set in, I think they say the hills are like 400 million years old, and they're like, I don't know if it's like Scots mythology, kind of like Norse, and you have all these images in your head because they're kind of dark and moody, and usually the cloud sits real low, and it may probably be raining, and it does conjure up all these images of, fucking Robert the Bruce or William Wallace running through there on a horse, and I don't know what it is, but it's a very kind of magic place. It's really something that a lot of people should. To be fair, I'd love to. I know I have Norwegian friends, and I think they're up. They're up the north, and I can't remember the name of the town that they're in. But they put pictures on Instagram and stuff regularly, and the hills are just incredible. And I really have to get there.
I did Trolltunga. I did probably 10 different hikes in Norway 2 years ago. I was there for a couple weeks, and every day we were just tackling a new hike. And I did Trolltunga, and I've never seen any, like, I do a lot of hiking and traveling and shit, and I've never seen anything like Trolltunga in Norway. It is every step you take, man. And if the sun is hitting it at a different part, it looks entirely different. We hiked to the end point, and then on the way back, it looked like I was on a completely different trail just because the sun was in a different spot, and we were at such a high elevation, and just seeing the fjords, like being at the top of those fjords and looking down. And once again, it kind of puts it humbles you. It makes you realize that, like, we are super fucking small. But then also people forget we're on a giant rock spinning around in space at all times. Like, our problems are not real problems.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's kind of like, it's like you were saying, Andy, isn't it? And what's weird as well, Chris, you're talking about the mountains, and Andy was as well, being intimidating, which they are, but in the grand scheme of them, in the mountains of the world, they're not that big. But there is something, and I think it's because for all of us, we all live, like you say, Andy, in this kind of, I call it the right angled world, where everything's neat and tidy. Like you say, you work in cubicles and offices, and then you get out into the world and you're aware that suddenly, you're not top of that. Not that we've been top of the food chain for a long time, but we're not top of that food chain anymore. Whatever happens, even like Chris was saying, just getting lost in the mist, in the rain, in the dark. People aren't prepared for it nowadays.
No, I mean, and back in the day, it was nothing. Like, okay, we're just going to set up camp in this random spot and we'll figure it out. But they also had like a natural navigation system, like all humans did at one point, and most people rarely have it. Like, if you put someone in a dark room and you're okay, which way's north? Very few people can figure out which way's north just instinctually, but that was normal a couple hundred years ago, and we've already lost it for the most part. But I also think it's unpredictable. So it goes kind of back to what you said, like the neat and tidy world that we live in. The real world is unpredictable, and everything that we do nowadays is very predictable. So whenever you're put in that environment where you don't know where the fuck you are, what's around you, that's terrifying to people, but it's also good. Like, it grounds you once again, and it just helps shape your actual view of how things are supposed to be. That way, when you go back into this world or whatever you want to call it, it's not as much, you're able to just kind of relax and go more with the flow. And if you're able to go more with the flow, then you're going to be able to accomplish more in general.
Yeah, fun enough, just because you use the word relax in there, one of the things that I like to do. Well, we just talked about this recently, Ali, with somebody, and I can't remember who it was. Just about watching the sunset. There's a lovely little loch close to me, and you get the right day, usually in the summertime. When sun's setting at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and you can just go onto the beach. There's a little beach, and you can just sit and watch the sunset, and it's so relaxing. And it's like, if you've had a nice day and you've had all your everything sorted out, you've had a really good day, been productive, you've done whatever it is, lifted some weights, had a good day at work, and you could watch the sunset. It's like the perfect way to finish off a day. It's just sitting there, not a trouble in the world, watching the sun go down. It's like, this is amazing. And I don't know, you go home really content.
I agree, man. And that's even my 5-year-old. So she's to the point now, I pick her up from school, and where the sun sets right now in North Carolina during winter, the sky, man, is just lit up. Every possible color that you can think of. And my kid, she started saying, he's like, Dad, look at that glorious sunset. And I'm like, that is a glorious sunset. But most people, they don't even look. You ask the last person, ask just random person on the street, when's the last time you saw the sunset? When's the last time that you actually stopped for 5 minutes to look at the sky or to even look around you? When's the last time that you went out into nature and just walked without your fucking cell phone?
Yeah.
Most people like years.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. How many people look at the sunset through that 6.5-inch phone just to take a photo of the sunset to put it on Instagram, rather than, as you say, Andy, keep the stuff down and use these to take in that whole vista.
I have a funny story about that kind of stuff, actually, Andy. So I did a marathon 2018. It was just over the border into the north of England, and it's one of the darkest, one of the places to see the best skies at night. It's really dark. There's no light pollution. So, you're running around, and I was speaking to this guy who was, we were talking, and he'd been in Australia with a girlfriend, and they'd split up, and he came back, and he'd went through a bad time. And I think, he'd tried to kill himself and all this kind of stuff. So we were just talking away, and then he was asking me, why are you doing it? This is what I said. This is like, apparently one of the darkest skies in the UK. So I really want to try and see the Milky Way. And he's like, man, that's exactly why I wanted to do it. I really wanted to see the Milky Way when we were running. And then there was two like middle-aged women kind of close by us, sort of behind us. And they went, well, what's the Milky Way? And I went, you'll know it if you see it. And they went, yeah, but what is it? And I just looked at the guy, and he looked at me, and it was just kind of like, you are like 52 years old, and you don't know what the Milky Way is. This is the whole purpose. I drove 3 hours to try and see it, and you don't even know what it is. And it's just like, you're so detached from reality. It's unbelievable. Didn't know what
That's what it is, man. You just nailed it. They're detached from reality.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. It's weird. I think it's extremely detrimental as well towards like just everything. When you're that detached from it, you're detached from everything that makes us human.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
it's like this. I know you had said at the start, Andy, sorry, Chris, jumping in, but you'd said, you'd gone through some kind of mental struggles in your early days, Andy. And I know they keep saying, it's because it's better diagnosed today, but I still think a massive element is because of that. We've become so detached from what matters that you get caught up in the bullshit of, Instagram likes or, whatever it might be, as opposed to just, living it as we have. And I get it, I'm sure that 200 years ago we had cholera and dysentery and all the other stuff to worry about. But, it was a simpler life than, this modern bullshit that everyone has to put up with to live in this world.
I think it's also a lack of purpose, man. So think about it from this perspective. A couple hundred years ago, or even 100 years ago, in very certain parts of the world still, every person in the community or tribe or whatever it is had a vital role that helped everyone in the community excel, right? Most people don't have a job anymore that actually is beneficial for community, for like the overall advancement of their tribe. So that's where, that's how we function as human beings. We've always been in clans and tribes and all this different stuff. And our purpose results from helping those around us. And most people's jobs nowadays are not actually beneficial to society, not in the grand scheme of how they used to be, not on such a large scale as far as vitally important. You know, if you're a farmer, you needed your crops for your family, but it may have also been for the entire your entire town that you were in. Or if you're, you know, a smith, if you did metal work and stuff like that, they needed that metal. Or if you did woodwork to build the ships or whatever 500 years ago, that was extremely important. Or let's take it back a couple thousand years, hunter gatherers. You had the people that, you know, gathered the fruit and stuff like that, and then you had the men that went out there and they hunted. If you didn't kill something, no one ate in your tribe. So nowadays, though, we don't necessarily have a purpose unless you really go out of your way to create it. And by purpose, I mean, like, what was I put on this earth to do? I don't really fall into that trap. I think purpose in general is just, how can I provide value to the world? When you provide value to the world and when you help those around you, you cannot help but feel better about yourself in general. Like, and then I tell people that all the time. It's like, I'm just really down and I can't get out of this rut. I'm like, just go help someone. Just go help them. That's going to make you feel better. But we don't have purpose anymore. And especially with men, like, we don't do well if we don't have a purpose.
This is one of the, you know, one of the, exactly what you've just said, Andy, is one of the things that really freaks me out when people start talking about universal basic income. I think that's going to be awful. You know, I think people like to believe that it's going to be a good thing to make sure people's bills are taken care of and all that. I think it's a terrible idea, because you're not giving anybody the reason to get out of fucking bed in the morning and do something. It's so bad. Terrible idea.
I think they want that at a larger scheme, like, not to get into conspiracy or really politics or whatever, but at the grand scheme, like, they want people reliant on the government. How do you make someone reliant on the government? You give them the basic necessities that they need. You know, you give them food, you give them money to buy the bullshit that they need off Amazon or whatever. And I think they want people to be depressed, and that they want people to be weak and malnourished and all this other shit, because then they become dependent on the government. Anyone that takes care of themselves or like refuses a handout, they don't need anybody else. And there's a level of confidence that comes with that just brings joy and pleasure to your life. When you're confident in your abilities to provide for you and your family, and you don't need fucking anybody else, that person is unstoppable. You can't fuck with that person. But what you can do is control someone that relies on you for every waking thing. And so they want people to be fat and lazy and depressed and all these other things, because those kind of people are dependent.
Yeah. And you know, as you were alluding to earlier on, or you weren't alluding to it, you said it about, you know, COVID. You know, but this is this the goal? Just to get people to be dependent on the? I mean, you just because you mentioned conspiracy, you know, we can get as deep into that shit as you want. Yeah, but you know, look at, you know, I mean, in Scotland, and I know they did it everywhere else as well, but you know, you couldn't go to a gym, but you can go to McDonald's. You're just going, okay, explain how that fucking makes any sense to anybody. Somebody explain it, because that's fucking bullshit. One of the first things that I did, I was really lucky actually, and this is what I'm using now. I turned this into a little gym. So I managed to get a squat rack, a bench, some kettlebells. So I was fine. Gyms were shut, but you know, I was fine for a couple of months, and then it was, you know, gyms won't be open, you know, at least for another 6 months. There's no fucking way. There's no way I'm not moving some weight about in 6 months. Absolutely no fucking chance. There's only so many big stones you can find to throw about, and then you go, I have to do something. So yeah, you know, that stuff to me is fucking hilarious. You know,
I saw it happen.
You get some great big fat guy, big fat woman, you know, telling you about if you have to wear a mask for your health, and you're going, are you fucking serious?
I saw it immediately, man. Whenever they started here in the US, you know, with our checks that they were giving people were a joke. You know, it was like, here's $600 to survive for the next 3 months. But what was crazy to me was unemployment. So a lot of people were unemployed, which sucks. I hate that for them. But what the government did was they were pretty much paying them double what they would have usually made. And as soon as they start, I'm like, this is not going to end well, because no one's going to want to go back to work when this pandemic ends. And that's exactly what happened. Like, there are companies begging people to come work for them right now in the States. And it's because those people became so reliant for a year of just getting fucking handouts.
Yeah.
And now, you can't help but see that that's what they're trying to do, is make people dependent on the government. Why else would you not only pay them unemployment, which is fine, like I don't really give a shit about that, but pay them double? What is the fucking thought process behind that, besides we want you to be dependent on us, and we want you to lose any work ethic, and we just want you to fucking sit around and be on your phone or whatever it is all day and not actually do anything with your life? And that's why depression and everything else is through the fucking roof. Even though no one wants to talk about it, depression is higher than it has probably ever been all across the world. And it's because of that right there. Well, that, and then also, social interactions and stuff like that became non-existent. But also, it goes back to purpose. People lost purpose. And without purpose, we don't know how to function as individuals.
Yeah, I mean, we, like everybody to begin with, March. Yeah. So I think it was getting a little bit sketchy February. And then maybe, did we shut down in February or March, Ali?
Hey, we shut down
March?
26th of March, I think it was.
Yeah,
Was our
so-
official lockdown date in the UK.
Basically March and April, I didn't do jiu-jitsu because it was illegal by that point anyway. And then it got to May, and nobody was working, so I was doing some workouts and stuff at home. And then, just looking through numbers, just data that you were able to look through, and you were going, okay, wait a minute, this doesn't seem like it's all that bad. And then, I don't even know if we can say this, probably get in trouble anyway, but it doesn't matter. I basically just went, fuck this, you want to just do jiu-jitsu again? So we just started doing jiu-jitsu again, like the whole way through. Didn't stop. Fuck yous. And we haven't stopped. Just trained all the way through. And what we did was, this is a crazy idea, Andy, you might like this. What we did was, we used common fucking sense. And if somebody didn't feel good, we went, hey, I don't feel so good, I'm not going to train this week. Cool, man, good idea. See you next week. And nobody died. Nobody died.
That.
Nope.
So
also the people.
None of us have caught COVID either.
None of us have got
Really?
COVID. None of us.
None of us have been ill. None of us have caught COVID. I've got 3 kids that were all at school during it as well, Andy. One of my kids has caught it. My youngest daughter, when she joined high school, went from a primary school with probably 200 students. She went to like the high school with 1,800 students. So I think it was just a sheer volume of bodies.
Yeah, of
But
course.
the 7, 8 of us that trained, not one of us have been ill. Not one of us actually been ill, full stop, the whole time.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, you guys are healthy. You prioritize health and exercise
It's crazy,
and
isn't
nutrition.
it? It's a crazy idea. How dare you suggest that, Andy? How dare you suggest that as a
Who would
reason?
have thought?
Did you fucking see what that crazy bitch Jen Psaki said on somebody asked her about there was some like CDC guidelines about getting like healthy. And she literally said, no, what you should do is get vaccinated and get boosted. You're like, you've just said that you shouldn't you've literally just said you shouldn't get healthy. I probably sent it to Ali. And
You did.
you just going, how the fuck? This woman is the mouthpiece of the government in America. Apparently the most, powerful man in the world. Obviously he's not. But he's just going, she's just said, like, don't worry about getting healthy. Just get vaccinated.
Bro, we
Like-
had in Maryland, I want to say it was Maryland or Delaware or something, some little small state on the East Coast, but they literally had a propaganda marketing thing going, and it was worded pretty much just like this. It was, in order to lose 5 pounds and be healthy, you need to run, I don't know, a mile every 2 days or some shit like that. And then they're like, or you can just get a vaccine and just keep eating like shit. Like, that's pretty much the basis of it. And they were running this as their like their COVID fucking standpoint. And I saw this, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, not only are you literally said, hey, you could, pretty much they're admitting is like, yeah, you could exercise and be fine, or you could just get a vaccine and not exercise at all. But you're telling me there's not another fucking underlying agenda here.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing to me.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny in the slightest. It's fucking terrifying.
Well, I think they're losing control. I think they're losing control over it, which is, and I know you guys have been keeping up with this, the whole Joe Rogan shit that they've started. Which I'm not like, I don't really listen to a lot of Rogan. Like, I think he's the fucking GOAT as far as podcast and shit go, and he's probably a really solid dude. But it's pretty obvious what they're doing here with that. Like, they're losing control because now with Omicron or whatever the hell you want to call it, everyone is getting COVID. Everyone. It doesn't matter if you have vaccine, doesn't matter if you have the boosters, it doesn't matter what the fuck you do. Everyone is getting COVID. But they're realizing it's not that big of a deal. So now they're like, well, why the fuck would I get more vaccines? So now you have, Pfizer and shit like that, and they're freaking out along with the politicians. They're freaking out because they're like, wait, fuck, we're losing control over this. So now they need an enemy. They need an enemy to make it seem like to kind of distract people and to be like, oh, well, if you don't get it, you're conspiracy theorist like Joe Rogan, or you're like the enemy if you don't get a vaccine, or if you listen to this other side of things, you're the enemy. And no one wants to be the enemy. No one wants to be the outcast or the bad guy. So then they kind of, now they're desperate is what I'm trying to get to. They're desperate because they're losing control over this whole fucking thing that they've been pushing for the past 2 years.
I mean, I said to Ali not that long ago, Ali, I'm sure you'll remember, I don't really watch the news, but if I'm at my parents' house and BBC's on, you listen to it. And it was for the first time I would have said, these what they're saying and what is happening on the streets, they're so far like unaligned, because you're speaking to everybody on the streets and just going, I don't understand why I have to get a booster shot, because what the fuck is the point? And what they're saying on the radio constantly, on the news constantly from the BBC, and what people are telling you, you're going, this is now so far apart. It's now hilarious, and it is like they've completely lost control of the situation, and they haven't got a fucking clue how to get it back.
Well, that's why they're doing this shit, like like they're doing with Joe. I mean, CNN gets, I think, 6 million views or some shit a day or something. Every time Joe Rogan releases a podcast episode, it's over 11 million.
Yeah.
So this dude has more power, more control than the news sources in the United States do. That's fucking scary to them. It's not scary to people like us, but it's terrifying to people like that are trying to push a different agenda. That this person has more control.
Yeah, I was going to say, Andy, sorry, jumping in. I think as well what terrifies them more is, I reckon if you look at the demographics, I reckon the people that are watching CNN are probably, I'm 43, so I'm saying my age and older.
Sorry,
whereas
boys.
Whereas the podcast is going to be listened to by probably 16 and up. It's a different generation. Because like my kids are like 18, well, now 19, 19, 17 and 12. They don't watch news. They don't watch the telly. They have no concept like I grew up of, I need to be in at 8:30 on a Thursday night to watch my program, because otherwise I'm going to miss it forever. Because there's no repeat, there's no +1, there's no TiVo instant record. They have no concept of that world, but they live in social media land. YouTube to them is a channel to watch, if that makes sense. Whereas still to me, it's to watch funny videos of people being idiots and falling over and hurting themselves. And I think that's what terrifies people more. By people, I mean like network heads, that they're looking at their demographic going, see, in 10, 15 years' time, most of our demographics are going to be old and dying. And this podcast and these long-form conversations like you have on your podcast, like we have on ours, are becoming more and more prevalent with people that have got a long time to live and are going to be the ones that are going to start voting, going to start running for office, going to start running businesses, etc., etc. And I think that terrifies the fuck out of them.
I've been thinking about that a lot the past couple of days. Very, very same thought process. And it gives me hope. Like, I used to be a very negative person, and I'm like, the world's fucked, humanity's fucked, fuck everything, whatever. And the older I get and just, more life experience and shit I have, I'm like, no, like I think it's beautiful what's happening, because like you said, they're losing control because they don't know how. You can't control shit like this. They can't stop people like me and you from having a conversation. They can't stop people from Joe Rogan from having like just this massive juggernaut pool that he has. And what that does though is like it gives us hope. Is like, is it going to, you're still going to have the other side, of course, and that's fine, whatever. But for the most part, it's a really beautiful thing of what's happening now. You know, whenever I got a 5-year-old, you said you got, you know, your kids are teenagers, man, and like it's going to be a completely different scene in 10 to 20 years. And I'm stoked to see what it looks like. Hopefully it's not a complete shit show, but I don't think it will be. I think there's going to be a lot more common sense. And I think overall, like the bullshit and the control and the lies and all this shit are going to be a lot less. I mean, you still have the lies and shit. Honestly, the lies and shit are more prominent now because of social media. But at the same time, like it depends on who you follow and shit like that. And with enough good people going out of their way to create valuable content with the hopes that it's going to help someone else. And I think that's something too. Like you're giving more people voice. You're giving more people a voice that want to help other people.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because even 5 years ago, I would never have heard about you and your business. It just wouldn't have happened. You know, I'm over here in Scotland. We wouldn't have heard about your business. I wouldn't have heard you and Cody doing the podcast because it didn't, you know, it wasn't in the world.
It wouldn't have been possible.
And things are changing so rapidly. It's funny talking about controlling the content because Chris knows about this, but a couple of the guys in our gym have started listening to our podcast, which is super cool. You know, when your friends actually pick up and start listening to it. But there's one of the young lads at the gym, Paddy McRitchie, shout out to Paddy if he's listening. He said he listened to one of the first episodes. He says he's just getting into listening to podcasts. And he goes, you and Chris call each other pussies on it. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, are you allowed to do that? And we're like, yeah, it's our fucking podcast. We can swear. There's no director. There's no director in these headphones going, we're going to go to advert in 15 seconds. Wind it up. Like, nah, me and Chris just get on and start talking. The guest comes on like yourself and starts talking. We've got no list of questions to ask you because when we started the podcast, probably similar to yourself, Andy, we're like, there's people that are way better than us at interviewing people. No one's better at doing than us is being us.
Right.
So
exactly.
We're just going to be us. We're going to call each other dicks. We're going to call each other cunts. We're going to call each other pussies. And hey, if you don't like it, fuck it.
They don't fucking listen to it. Yeah, don't listen to it. Yeah. Go find something else because there is something out there that tailors more to that demographic and to that person. And that's the thing too, is like you can't get caught up in trying to please everybody.
I think as you get older, what age are you, Andy, actually?
I'm 30. I turned 30 in May. So
okay, so you're the youngest one. So I'm 37. Ali's 53. No, Ali's, what are you, 43?
Now you understand why we call each other dicks and cunts all the time. I'm 43. 43.
As you get older, I have no interest in trying to fit in with any crowd, trying to please anybody for pleasing them's sake. I'm just going to do what the fuck I want to do. We don't say anything ridiculous. And if people like that, awesome. If you don't like it, awesome. I think it's a cool thing as you start to get older and you lose, you kind of shake off the shackles of society and just do what the fuck you want to do. Do what makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting people, go crazy. Do what you want.
Well, it kind of goes back to our conversation earlier too about, the things weren't available like they are now. And I don't think people understand how to deal with the amount of information that is coming in. A couple 100 years ago, you had no idea what the fuck was going on even in your own country. Like you had zero idea, or even if it was the next town over, you probably didn't know what the fuck was going on. And now we know exactly what is going on all of the time. We know all of the worst shit. So it's very easy to fall into this very negative mindset that the world is burning and there's no hope and all this other shit. And that's a very bad place to come into. That's where anxiety comes from. That's where depression comes from and all these other things that people are experiencing now. And it's because they sit on their fucking phone all day looking at all the terrible shit. But that terrible shit has always been happening. It's always going to happen. And of course we never see the good shit because that's not what sells. But I think a large part of depression, anxiety, and everything else like that comes from just the massive overload of information, especially bad information at that we're bombarded with every single day.
What I think is a great, and I've asked people this question before, and people have asked me this question before. If people say, what would you do if you won the lottery? When I think on we have a European wide lottery on Friday, and I believe it's over 100 million. And people say, what would you do if you won that kind of money? And most people would say, I'd want to buy a Lamborghini, I'd want to buy a mansion, I'd want to go to the Caribbean. And to me, I'm like, I'd be doing the exact same shit. I'd be talking to the same cool people. I'd be trying to get better at jiu-jitsu. I'd go climb hills. I'd do triathlons, but I'd maybe go, hey, I'd like to do one in, there's a marathon in North Carolina that looks really fun. I'm going to go and do that because you can just go and do it then. But I think so many people are living on this hope of, if I just win this money, I can just get this Porsche and then life will be awesome.
But it doesn't fix it.
It doesn't fix anything. It's like, I don't, and it's so sad to watch a lot of people living in that hope, that false hope of this, if I just had this thing, everything would be better. And it won't be better. You know what I mean? Go deadlift, dickhead.
It is sad. It's extremely sad. But at the same time, what are most people doing to improve their situations? We have more information available now than we've ever had throughout history. Like, I can pick up my phone and learn about anything that I want to learn about. And it doesn't cost me anything besides, the Wi-Fi bill or cell phone or whatever it is. These people, they bitch about money, or they bitch about their weight and exercise and all this other stuff, but they do absolutely nothing to learn more about it. You can go to YouTube and watch a video where someone is teaching you exactly what you need to do in order to make more money, to get out of poverty or whatever it may be. But they don't do that. It was, well, if I could win the lottery, my whole life would change. Well, you can start changing your fucking life right now. All it takes is a little bit of effort. It takes 10 minutes of reading per day, and you know more tomorrow than you did the day before. And if you make a habit of doing that every single day, holy shit, in a year, you're a completely different person, and your life is no longer the same as it was. But these people that they sit there and they daydream all day about this, like you said, winning the lottery. Yeah, it'd be nice, but what is that going to do? Sitting there wasting time and energy thinking about some fantasy shit that may never happen, instead of just taking action and doing something now.
And I think because, Andy, we live in a world where everybody wants a magic pill for everything. I'd like to lose weight. I need a magic pill. And you get so fed up. And I know a lot of people now, certainly here, are speaking out about, these cleanse diets and all this bullshit. You go, listen, like, if you consume less calories than you burn, you will lose weight.
Do you lose weight?
Like, that's how simple it is. Now, obviously, you want to eat as well as you can, but but you can't lose 10 kilos, 20 pounds really quickly. It takes a matter of weeks, a matter of months, however you want to do it.
It also takes work,
and it takes hard work, and you have to be committed. I'm really hungry, and maybe I could just get this. You could do, but nothing will change. But everybody looks for this instant gratification, and I think that ties into how many likes did I get on that last Instagram post. The people, fuck shit. Everything takes time. Nothing is instant, and we live in an instant world where everything has, people now. It seems insane to me because they're getting built everywhere just now. I know America has loads of like drive-through coffee places. We're now getting so many drive-through coffee places. There's a new Starbucks opening just along the road from us. It's like, you literally have a kitchen in your house, but you want to drive to this place and go, large mochaccino, Whopper, chopper, whatever it is. Get this fucking thing. And it's like, what's the next stage? Like, you go to the next window and it's like, just, and they put it into you. Like, it's so fucking lazy. Like, fucking hell.
Well, then we also saw, at least over here, this is just mind-blowing to me. Not only, you could just drive to McDonald's before and you drive through the drive-through and you get your Big Mac, wherever the hell. But now, because of COVID, now they deliver the Big Mac to your fucking house. And I saw this in my neighborhood the other day. And I was like, not only are you eating McDonald's, which everyone knows is shit. Like, there's not a single person that doesn't know that. At least I'd be mind blown if they didn't. But anyways, not only do you know that it's shit, but you couldn't even get inside your fucking car and drive 4 minutes down the road to get your shit food. You had to pay someone else to deliver it to you because your fat ass couldn't go out the fucking front door and do something else. Like,
Yeah.
it's mind blowing to me, man.
Yeah, it really is. It really, and we were talking about this. I was talking about this with some of the guys at work the other day, and there was you won't know who he is, Andy, but there was a stand-up comedian in the UK called Lee Evans, and he did a joke about this when drive-through first came to the UK in like the 90s, and he did a bit about this, about how it was so lazy to go to a drive-through, and like the next stage of that was going to be asking the person to chew it for you because you can't be bothered to chew. And it was and it's now like 25 years later, we're literally at that point where, like you're saying, I don't have to go to McDonald's now. I'll just get a Uber Eats or a Deliveroo.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man, what's the next stage after that? They're just going to blend it and make it a drink so you don't have to fucking hell.
Well, that's the kind of shit that you see in like sci-fi movies. And what's crazy is that, you know, the older as time goes on, the sci-fi shit that 20 years ago people were like, that's never gonna fucking happen. Now it's like, no, it is. It's getting there where it's like you said, they blend it up and there's like a fucking tube going into your throat or some shit, and that way you don't have to take off your fucking goggles to leave your metaverse or whatever the hell they're calling it now. That's where we are. Like, we're almost there, and I hope that people, it does seem, you know, like we can talk all day about all the fucked up parts of the world, but it does seem like there's a huge rise in people wanting to get their shit together and they want to improve. And I think it's more now than it has been in the past 100 years. Like, I think really people are really trying to get their shit together now. And luckily there are a ton of resources and people are really doing that. You know, say like with jiu-jitsu 20 years ago, you guys probably know this, there might have been one place in Scotland that taught jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, maybe.
And now how many do you guys have? I mean, probably well over 100, I would think, across like the entire country.
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
Probably. I mean, there's what, 4 or 5 within, give or take, a 15 minutes drive of our respective houses nowadays.
Yeah.
Right.
And even on that, Andy, when we first started, like a blue belt was like, you know, even when I kind of dabbled in it a few years back, and then Chris has been training pretty consistently for about the last 6 years. But Chris, you'll be the same. Remember, a blue belt was like, holy shit, he's a blue belt. And now me and Chris are blue belts, and we're like, we're fucking idiots. We don't know what we're doing, but we're blue belts. But do you know, there was like that mythical, because as you said, Andy, there was no one really doing it. So if you were a blue belt, you were already so far ahead of everyone else. And a purple belt was like, you know, a unicorn, and a brown belt was, you know, a unicorn with wings, and fuck knows what a black belt was. But, you know, there was just no frame of reference to it. Yeah, totally. Whereas now, like you say, there's gyms everywhere. There's what, 8 or 9 blue belts in our gym alone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is there wouldn't be as many places available if there weren't so many people trying to get better. And that's what we have to really look at here. You know, like in Concord, where we live, I mean, just in Concord, like we have just on the road that the Norse compound is on, which is where I'm at right now, I'd say there's probably 8 gyms, and they're bigger gyms. Like I would say Norse compound is one of the smaller ones, but it's because we're like more niche and private and stuff. But just on this road, there's 8 other gyms, and all those gyms are packed at any given time. So that wouldn't exist if there weren't so many people now trying to get better.
Yeah.
But then like I said in the beginning of this conversation, you have so many outside forces trying to stop these people from improving. And that's what really just, it keeps me up at night from how fucking mad I get about it, is the amount of outside sources that are trying to stop these people from getting better when I know that they want to. But you know how they don't know the difference, man. Like they see something on Instagram that says meat is bad for you, and they go, well, fuck, I can't eat meat. Or, you know, cardio, I can't do too much cardio. Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't go hike a hill, it's bad for my knees. But that's the kind of shit that they see. And it's because you have so many other outside sources trying to make society weak. And that's, I mean, out of everything that I do, I think that's really what I'm fighting against, is because it literally keeps me up at night. I'll be laying in bed, I just get fucking mad about it.
Yeah. I do agree with you though, Andy. I do see a bit of a pushback now. I think we've probably reached peak what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say the R word, but I better not because we'll get banned for that. But we'll probably be peak stupidity. I think we're just about there, and I do think there is a pushback now where and I I don't want to take any credit, but I think people like us. But I think but I think some of the younger guys at the gym do look towards older guys like us and go, and our coach John is 55, and his buddy Raymond is 52, 53. Those guys are fucking maniacs. They're still getting after it, 50-odd-year-old. And I think they look at that kind of thing and go, hey, I wonder how strong can I get? Can I squat 200 kilos? Can I deadlift 220? And I think that does help. And I think when you see, and it goes back to what we're talking about earlier as well, is like having a strong male presence for anybody is super important, because a lot of the guys out at the gym as well are asking about us jumping in a lock on a Sunday morning. They haven't actually joined us yet, but they're asking the question like, what, can they maybe come? How cold is it? Is it really cold? Can we jump? And I think that's important for those guys to get in an environment with some really cool, strong men, and Ali comes as well. But to be around us and to get shit on, obviously. But I think it's important, and I think there is, as you were saying, there is starting to become a pushback, and I am encouraged by what I see, because a lot of people are. You look at that. I don't know who I don't know if I'm allowed to say guy, but the person who there was loads of memes about him in the White House. The guy with like the white pantsuit on and like long nails. I think he had some job in the White House, and it was like,
oh, is that health admiral, the admiral of the health?
No, like a younger he, him, she, or whatever it is, and I think people look at that kind of stuff and go, I don't want to be this fucking thing. Like,
they're using it as motivation, right? I mean, I think you're entirely right. But
I think we've now reached the point of peak stupidity, and I think we're going to start seeing some pushback where people go, fuck that. I want to hike. I want to deadlift. I want to eat a big bit of fucking steak. Hopefully.
I agree. I think so too. And I think it is a lack of male guidance, because I mean, over the past 100 years, I think it really started with the Industrial Revolution. Before that, boys worked on the farm, or they went out on hunts, or whatever it may have been. They worked alongside their grandpa, their dad, generations of strong men, right? Well, then the Industrial Revolution came along, and these men that used to be at home with their sons, well, they were no longer at home with their sons. Now they're working 18-hour days in the coal mines or whatever it may have been. So then who is at home raising the boy?
Yeah, the mom.
The mom, right? Or the grandma, or the teacher, which is usually females, which there's nothing wrong with that. But a female can't teach a man how to be a man. And then even, so you think everyone can benefit from a male role model. And even like I have a 5-year-old daughter. My job, like my top job out of anything that I do, is to set the highest standard of what a man should be. That way, when my daughter starts dating and she starts looking for a husband or whatever, she's going to compare anyone to me. And if I set the right expectation for her, she's going to get together with someone solid that's going to treat her well and provide for the family and everything else. So yeah, it's not just with men and boys or father and sons. It's also father and daughters. But then it carries over to females as well. Like, if you have a solid mom, the mom teaches the boy how to properly treat a woman with respect and everything else. And then also you need both sides, I think. But during the Industrial Revolution, we really did start seeing a decline in men being at home with their kids. And now we're not working in factories as much as we used to, at least not here in the States, but you still have guys, they're working in offices now, which honestly might even be worse because they're just sitting down all day, not really doing shit, and they're absent from the sun and whatever. But they're working still 12, 14-hour days, and it doesn't ever turn off, because now they go home and they're having to work on their phone. They're still not present with their kids. Yeah. And it's a huge issue, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I know, I don't have any kids, but I have a nephew who's 9 and a niece who's 4. And one of the businesses that I'm involved with, Andy, I have a lovely little gym set up, and they quite often come down and they'll do some stuff in the gym because Uncle Chris goes to the gym. So we're going to go in there and play, and I just encourage them and show them kind of what to do, what not to do. And my nephew, there was an incident at school last week. Some as kids do, as you were talking about earlier, they were fighting and all this kind of stuff. So I just kind of told them, this is how we take people down, this is how you keep them down, and to give them an advantage, because who else is going to teach them that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I know how to do it, I want to teach you how to do it, and this is how you these are how you fuck little people up. this is what you have to do.
Yep.
So but it's not teaching them how to beat people up. It's saying you're not allowed to start a fight. If somebody starts a fight with you, this is how you end the fight. You don't have to hurt them. You can just restrain them.
They still need someone to teach them that, though. Like, and
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
your job as the uncle, And even if you don't have
Crazy
kids,
uncle.
like it's the crazy uncle.
Crazy uncle.
But you're still a role model for those kids. And just like at the gym, like you said, there's younger dudes, and now they're looking up to the older guys. And that's always how it's been as well. You had like the elders of the tribe and shit like that, and they kind of gave everyone guidance about how to live life, because when you're in your early 20s and teenagers, you don't fucking know. And then even at 30, like, I think I know, but I don't. I know I'm going to look back in 10 years, like, what the fuck are you talking about? But there's always been a hierarchy almost. You have your elders and you have the people underneath them and them and them. And they worked their way down the generation, and they all worked in like a chain reaction in order to help each other grow.
Yeah, I think as well it's important that, in terms of the strong male role model, just strong male role models in general, because my eldest boy, Aaron, used to train with us. He's working full time now, so struggles with his shifts. But he came along when he was 14 to train at the gym, the jiu-jitsu gym, with me and Chris and a few of the other guys, because he was going through a few issues, as you do when you're a teenager. And he came along, and I had said to him before we went, I was like, look, you're going to see me for probably the first time in your life as not dad. I'm going to be Ali when I'm there. I was like, so you're going to see how I interact with other guys and women, because there's women that train. I says, you're going to see a different side than I'm in the house. And I was like, but it's good because you'll see how it actually works in the real world of work, of friends, of mates, where there's not the same rules that are applied by school. And I remember vividly one time he'd been coming for about 4 or 5 months, and obviously he'd seen me like give Chris shit. Chris had given shit back to me, and obviously the same with the other guys in the gym. And one night, one of the guys kind of had a little bit of a dig at Aaron, like verbally, not physically, but verbally, kind of went after him a little bit with a bit of banter, which in the school probably would have yellow carded. They'd be like, "Oh, that's bullying! It's bullying." And I just kind of sat back and watched it. And when it had all finished, we were walking home. I said to Aaron, that means the guys have accepted you now, right? And he was like, yeah, I do, because I've seen you doing it for the last 3 or 4 months. That, when the new guys come in, I'm very respectful. I chat to them, I show them the ropes. When I'm with Chris, I'll call him an asshole. Whereas Aaron had seen that side of when it's a new guy and he doesn't know what he's doing, you help him out. When it's someone that knows what they're doing and you're really good friends with them, you tell him his jiu-jitsu sucks and he's an asshole. Because that's what you do with your friends.
How it works.
and that's what Aaron had always been treated respectfully. And then one of the guys kind of gave him a bit of verbal abuse. And I said, that means you've now been accepted into, to use your word, Andy, kind of accepted to the tribe, accepted into the clan. Mm-hmm. And I says, but what you can now do is you can give it back to him verbally. So that's your next challenge, is to learn how to dish it back out and don't just sit there passively, because that's the next level. And I think that was important for him to see that, before he moved into the world of work. Just going straight from academia, where there's the teacher that overrules it, and very quieting down class, that kind of mentality. He saw the little bit of the adult world and how adults interact with each other in the real world is massively important.
You say adults, I don't believe girls do that.
Maybe not. Maybe they don't. I've seen it with my daughters and the way they talk to each other, though. So
I'm not sure girls shit on each other the same way guys do. I don't think that's.
I think they have their own form of it.
Same way, but yeah, I was gonna say they definitely have their own form, because I've heard Anya and her pals, because they're now like 12 and 13, and they can go after each other, like just in a different way. Like,
I think girls are worse about it, honestly.
Yeah, Oh, totally. They wouldn't call each other assholes. They'd be like, wow, you're actually wearing that today. And you'd be like, oh, ow.
Oh no,
They stab, man.
I've said that to friends. I've said that to friends. Definitely.
I think you said something. I think you said something important though about instead of you wanted to teach him not to just passively sit by and accept that. You know, if a man or a female as well learns that at a young enough age, that's going to help them throughout their entire life because they're not just going to sit back and take shit from people. They're going to,
yes,
you know, when a line gets crossed, they're going to fucking give it back. And once again, like if you don't have someone that's going to, like you, luckily your son has you and you told him this is how you fucking do it. But a lot of people, they don't have that, or they just have men that it wasn't taught to them by their dads or whatever. And now you have a lot of really passive fucking people that don't know how to handle controversy. And especially because of social media, because you can say whatever the fuck you want and not get knocked in the mouth usually. So I think that's going to help your son 20 years from now, even, you know, like that's huge. And it was just something super small, but it's going to carry over down the road as well.
Yeah, totally.
100%.
No, 100%.
100%. Yeah, there's been a lot of cool stuff said here tonight. I'm gonna have to listen back to this and go because I can't. I've been hitting the head a lot and I can't remember a lot of things. But yeah, it's been an interesting conversation so far. I don't know how much your time you have, Andy, but yeah, it's been interesting so far. I think with
I'm having a good time.
It's one of those conversations where I don't even think we've scratched the surface of anything as yet. There's still a million things that I'd like to talk about, but yeah. So I think Ali, you were saying that Andy had just come back from Iceland. Is that right?
Yeah, I've just came back from. Was it 3 weeks you were in Iceland? I see on your Insta there, Andy.
I was supposed to be there for 2
Okay.
weeks. Yeah, I was supposed to be there for 14 days, but I ended up coming home 6 days early because the airlines fucked up my return flight.
Okay.
So I was there for about 5 days. I go to Iceland. Well, before the pandemic, I went to Iceland about every 3 to 4 months. And now, I mean, I already plan on going back in May. We're going to do the, so like in Iceland, you have pretty much everyone lives on the exterior. It's the only inhabitable spot of Iceland is along the coast, you know, but that's 20% of the country maybe, and then you still have another 80% of the country that is called the Highlands, so very similar to your guys' Highlands, I guess, as far as the name goes. And that shit is like a whole other world from what I can imagine. And I'm huge on hiking and camping and stuff like that. So my buddy Runar, he lives over there. He's actually he's gonna do his first fight Saturday, so I'm super stoked on that. He went from powerlifting to he's been boxing for the past 6 months, and now he's gonna fight, so that's super cool.
Okay.
But he I asked him, we're sitting in the hot tub a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, I cannot stop thinking about hiking the Highlands. You know, I just wanted to take 4 days and hike it, not be around anybody. I mean, there's not shit out there. And I was like, would you be down for that? And he's like, absolutely, let's go. So we got a date in mind and everything else. So yeah, we're gonna go. I'm gonna be back there. The plan is to fly there on May 25th, and then his brother Hasey, actually, I guess Wardruna, it's like it's a band, but they're gonna be playing in Reykjavik. So I'm gonna go to that concert with Hasey, and then pretty much probably the next day, me and Runa are gonna adventure out into the Highlands and
Awesome.
go sleep out there for 4 to 5 days and just hike
I will
across it.
look forward to looking at some of those pictures on Instagram for sure if you can post them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to. He's luckily he's like one of the best photographers in Iceland. He's also one of my best friends. So like, and he loves photography, especially nature. So I'm personally fucking stoked on the pictures that he's gonna get.
That's one of the countries that I'm desperate to go to. So I was supposed to go July 2020. The Brazilian, the BJJ Globetrotters, they do camps all over the world, and there was one in Reykjavik, and I was booked to go on it, and then it just obviously COVID fell apart and it was not possible. I was so excited to do that. Just go train. They have like what's the gym? What's the big gym called?
Mjolnir.
It's Mjolnir, Gunnar Nelson's gym.
Yeah, it's in the side of a fucking mountain, dude. Like it's literally like you see the pictures and shit, and you're like, oh, that's cool. They got like some rocks on the wall. No, the fucking gym is inside the mountain. Like I didn't realize that until I drove past it, and I saw the signs and shit. I'm like, wait, is that Mjolnir? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, it's in the side of the fucking mountain. Like, what the hell? It's super cool. I haven't been there. like I'm just now getting started in the whole martial arts world, but
That's what it was. But
I would really love to go check that place out sometime. And
too,
dude,
for
man,
sure.
there's a ton of jujitsu places actually over there. Boxing is not as big, but jujitsu really seems to be taking off, and it's probably because of Mjolnir. You know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
they're huge, like they're worldwide. Everyone knows who that gym is just because
Yeah,
they got some top level athletes and shit. But
Yeah.
Iceland in general, it's everyone in Iceland exercises. Like
Yeah.
everyone in Iceland wants to be strong. They want to be fit, and it's really cool because it's the opposite of the rest of the world, I think. But there's a ton of gyms. It's a very small population, but there's a ton of gyms. But once again, because they need that many gyms to keep up with people, and I think it's because of the environment, man. Like Iceland looks very similar to Scotland. It's very, very similar, but the weather is 10 times worse. So in Scotland, it changes snap of your fingers. It could be sunny and then it's raining and storming, whatever. In Iceland, it's sunny, but then 2 seconds later, it's 160-mile-per-hour winds and a snowstorm. And then you get 21 feet of snow overnight. Like it's just, it's crazy, man. It's nuts, but that must have been very hard. And I always think about that, especially last time I was there, because I was freezing my ass off. And I was like, I cannot imagine living in these conditions even 100 years ago. And I think it's I think it's in their DNA. National Geographic's actually they went over there and they did a study with my buddy Hasey was part of it. Runar was as well. Hafthor, Bjornsson, some of the CrossFit chicks. For all I know, like the people over at Mjolnir might have been in it too. But National Geographic did DNA tests on these people to see if there was like something unique to Iceland in the genetics that made them who they are. And there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. And I think that goes back to like the cultural, like it's part of that country, and part of their culture is to be strong. You're not allowed to be weak, because if you're weak, you're going to fucking die. At least that's how it was 50 years ago over there. So that's really cool. That's how everyone is over there. Like, I've seen we're on Hasey's dad. He's lifted the full Sturker stone over there, which is like 320 pounds. I think he said he's done it 56 times in his life. He's in his 50s and 60s now, and he could easily go over there and probably do it again. Same with Hafthor. Like everyone looks at Hafthor and they're like, oh, he's super strong, which he is, of course, and he's a giant of a man. Hafthor's grandpa and his dad are taller than Hafthor are. Like his grandpa is one of the biggest people I've ever seen in my life, and that dude has probably never picked up weights in his life. But Hafthor grew up on his grandpa's farm picking up giant rocks and shit. Like that's just, it's part of their culture is to be strong. So yeah, it's cool over there, man.
Yeah, it's genuinely, it's not, so one of the places I love Chamonix in France. I've been there, done the marathon. It's great to climb hills, and I adore that place. The only other place I really want to go, like I have to go, is Iceland. And I remember me and Ali have talked about this before. So there was a documentary on Netflix called Under an Arctic Sky.
Yeah,
but it's American kids and they want to go surf this, like I think it's like the North.
Oh, it's a cool documentary. Yeah, I've seen it.
And I just watching it, just going, holy shit, Iceland is amazing. Like I have to go to Iceland. And,
it's a different world, man.
Hasn't happened yet, but that's one of those places where I could probably live in Iceland. Like it's super cool. It just
so the moon, whenever NASA was training for the moon landing or whatever the fuck 50 years ago, they were training in Iceland because it was because Iceland had the most similar landscape to the moon than anywhere else in the world. So when I tell people like Iceland looks like a different world, it's because Iceland literally looks like a different planet in certain parts of it. Like you get there and you're just like I said, it's very similar to I'd say Iceland's a mixture of Norway and Scotland is the best way to put it. But there are certain parts of it where you're just like, this is nothing. This is not like anything else. Like your brain almost can't comprehend what you're seeing because it's so foreign to you.
Yeah. Genuinely looks amazing. So that's one of the places where I think actually when I watched that documentary, the first thing I did when it finished was I have to see if there's a marathon in Iceland.
I'm sure there are, man.
Have to see something, but like you say, not like I'm sure there'll be a marathon in Reykjavik because there always is in capital cities and stuff. but like where you're talking about in the center of the country, which is like bleak, and there's no aid stations, and it's like you have to take all your own stuff. That's
They
the one
do
I
have
want.
one.
Oh,
They
do
do
they?
have one. Yeah, because when I was telling Runar about how I wanted to do the Highlands, like, yeah, they do like a marathon through there. It's
Cool.
like 4 days or something like that. So yeah, they do in fact have it. I'll try to reach out to him, and after the podcast, if I can find
Yeah.
the name of the marathon, I'll send it to you.
That's the kind of shit that I want to do. Yeah, it just looks so cool. So, but also, you know, like I'm sure we talked about this because we spoke to Bert Soren. I don't know if you know Bert. He's South Carolina. You know, we're talking about that, like America, and like since we're talking about Florida, like I've no interest. You know, every day me and Ali send each other a Florida man meme, something about somebody in Florida. I just sent him this one day. I sent him one this morning about some guy in Florida, and he caught himself on his own dash cam having road rage with somebody, and then fucking taking a pistol out and just shooting through his own windows at somebody's car. Like, insane. So Florida, as you were saying earlier on, is not the spot. I have
Those
places,
memes and shit aren't bullshit, man. Like I grew up in Florida, unfortunately. Like I was born in Orlando, which is like Central Florida, and then we moved to Panama City, and I lived there till I was 25. It's no exaggeration. These motherfuckers fight dinosaurs for fun. Like my dad grew up. My dad used to tell me stories, man, about how him and his buddies in high school would get drunk and go out into the boat, and they'd see a fucking alligator, 6-foot alligator, and they would just jump in the water and fuck around with this 6-foot dinosaur, you know, like, or you know, taking rattlesnakes and putting them in like people's, and like they take rattlesnakes and throw them in people's mailboxes for the fuck of it, and which is fucked. But I remember being 5 years old, and my great grandfather lived on it's like a pond, lake, whatever. And I walked outside just to go fuck around, and there was an 8-foot alligator just sunbathing out in the backyard. And I was like, you know, I turned around real quick and went back inside. But then you have panthers. You know, you got black panthers in Florida that just like they're very territorial. And I remember I worked with this chick, and she was telling me about how there was this black panther sitting on top of her fucking car when she went out for work. And panthers, I think it's like I want to say it's like 30 to 50 mile radius is theirs. And that's why they're going extinct, is because there's not a lot of like, you know, nature left as far as like 50 miles or so just for one panther. But her house happened to fall into what this dude considered was his territory. So all I can imagine is this chick like walking out her door in the morning to go to work and just darting to the car, hoping that this panther doesn't just jump on her for the sake of it. Yeah. And like the joke growing up in Florida was everything in Florida will kill you. And that's the truth. Like the ants will kill you. Things that fly around like bugs will kill you if they sting you. You know, you have water moccasins that chase you. So like most snakes, they might bite you if you get too close or something. But in Florida, the snakes chase you, and then they can swim as well. So it's like you can't even jump in a body of water because this moccasin's going to jump into the water and chase you there too. It's wild, man. But the people, it is the most white trash place in the world. Like that's the best way to put it. When you think of just like white trash, Southern United States, that is the entirety of Florida. So, and then if they're not just like, honestly, just crazy alcoholics, that's the best way to put it. You know, they're just wild, wanting to fight alligators and shit. Then they're just completely obsessed with nightclub culture. And that is one thing I can't get behind. Like, no matter how hard I've tried in my youth to kind of fit in with it. Like I forced myself to go to nightclubs and bars and shit. I'm like, I can't, I still have PTSD about it. I went to, it was a supplement industry party actually. And they had like a DJ and shit. People were drinking and whatnot. And the music started. And then these chicks went out to the floor and they started grinding on each other. And I had PTSD from Florida. And I was like, I got to fucking go. I can't deal with this shit. But yeah, man, Florida's wild, dude, and the people there are a product of that wild environment, I guess.
The only time I was in Florida was 1999. The family holiday, obviously did all the touristy things, you know, Disneyland and all that. But I have no interest in going to those places now. Like North Carolina, South Carolina, Montana. That to me seems cool.
Oh, yeah, we have the Appalachians and everything over here in North Carolina. It's great, man.
I have no interest in like Florida or LA, LA in particular. You couldn't fucking pay me to go to that shithole.
You guys would probably die from the heat, man. It doesn't ever get like in South Florida. It doesn't ever. I'm really bad at converting Fahrenheit to Celsius, but it gets during January. It's about 80 degrees in Miami year round. So I think you guys would literally just like melt probably or have a heat stroke.
Yeah, genuinely, I was in similar to Chris. I was in Orlando 6 years ago for Disney with the kids when the kids were younger, like the whole family, the wife as well. And it was the month of December, and we went there because it was the coolest month. And it was still like, as you say, kind of high 70s, low 80s, which is about 16, 17 degrees for us in Scotland. I was literally in shorts and t-shirt. I'd have gone topless if they'd allowed me to. It was that warm. And I was in the queue. I was in the queue going into the Magic Kingdom, and there was a guy in front of me that was obviously relatively local. And he had jeans, leather boots, a leather jacket, a scarf, and a beanie. And was saying to a security guard, and the security guard in front had like the big puffer jacket, the ear muffs, keeping his ears warm. And they were talking about how cold it was. I was like, mate, I'd be taps off if I could. I was literally melting. I had SPF 50 sun factor screen on to stop my skin falling off.
And then it's
ridiculous.
Then the sunscreen. Then you start to sweat because it's so damn hot, and then the sunscreen gets into your damn eyes, and you're miserable the rest of your time at Disney. It's a miserable place.
There will be. So we are now. What are we now? 1st of February.
Yes.
2nd, whatever it is. 1st. Yeah. So we are probably genuinely. We'll usually get like a warm week in April in Scotland, and by warm I mean 15 degrees. So it might be high 60s, whatever, something around over there. You will see people walking around with no top on. Genuinely, that will not be uncommon at all. It's 65 degrees. People will be shorts, tops off. Guaranteed, that's a thing. So yeah, we don't deal very well with the heat.
I don't either. That was the issue growing up there for 25 years. Is I can't do heat, and even in North Carolina, it gets unbearable. Like when I go over to Iceland, I remember in January, it's a few weeks ago actually, which is weird to think about, but a few weeks ago, I wake up in the morning, I had some sweatpants on, no shoes, no shirt, whatever. I walk outside. Ruinar's making like snow caves with this kid. And I just walk out there. I'm just chilling. And he's like, "Are you not cold?" I was like, "No, actually, like this is fantastic." But here, and it's funny because my kid's the same way. Whenever it gets hot, and she's 5 now, so her personality is coming out. But whenever it really started getting hot here in about June or so, every day I pick my kid up from school, she'd be like, "It's so hot," just like miserable, just absolutely miserable. So it was a bonding experience between us because I was miserable as well, and we just hide pretty much during that whole like 4 months of just unbearable heat.
Yeah, it's I remember being in the only time I've ever I don't do too badly in the heat, but when I went back to Chamonix the 3rd time, and I did so two of my friends came, and my buddy Danny was doing the 10K. So he's had like a hip replacement and stuff, and he was doing the 10K. So I had done the day before. I'd done the vertical kilometer, which is, as you say, you climb a vertical kilometer, and it was brutal. So they put the race back from it was supposed to start at 5 p.m. It started at 6 p.m. and it was still 35 degrees. It was incredible. The next day, so my buddy Danny was doing the 10K. It was 39 degrees. So I don't even know what that is. It must be like approaching 100, right? Like that's
it's pretty hot.
Warm. Yeah. And my buddy was doing it, and it was just horrific heat. But we found a little pub and we had a pint, and we were sitting there. It was lovely. But 39, and that's the only time in my life that I've actually struggled with heat. Normally there must be some Mediterranean in my family someplace, because I go
somewhere
so easy. And just walking back to the hotel, and there's like, I have to get out of the heat now. Like this is now an issue. And I was actually getting to the point where it was really fucking with me. That's the only time. That was 39 degrees. That's the warmest I've ever been. But yeah, that's it's not nice. I don't like
miserable,
that heat.
Man.
I don't like that heat. But listen, Andy, we've kept you for like an hour and a half. I don't want to keep you for too long. I'm sure you've got better things to do than speak to some Scottish fucking morons. But yeah, it's been good, man. Like an hour and a half's genuinely flown by. but some issues.
Yeah, no, it was great, man. It was great.
But,
Definitely. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Just before we wind down, sorry, Chris, just before we wind down fully, Andy, we were going to say, do you want to shout out some social media and stuff, and we'll get it tagged in so people can find out a bit more about you and your business and your podcast and stuff?
Yeah. So you can find out more about Norse Fitness by visiting the website, which is norsefitness.co. We do have a podcast called the Norse Mentality. You can find that on every podcast platform. You can find me on Instagram at Andrew Cliff Lewis. And you can also find Norse on Instagram, which is Norse_fitness. And we have clothing, fitness accessories, workout programs, the podcast. I mean, at this point, we're doing fucking everything. But yeah, if you're interested in learning more about it, definitely get on there and check it out.
And doing a fucking awesome job with all of it as well, man. It's always cool to see people. And one of the things that's quite interesting is I think people get wrapped up in, so that not that you're a massive online celebrity, but you've got Norse Fitness has a pretty big following. Yeah. And I think people get wrapped up in this, like they put people like you on like this weird pedestal.
No.
And then you speak to me and it's like, oh, that's just Andy. He's just a guy
I'm just dude, it's weird, man. Like, so I deleted all my social media last year for about almost a year. I was just dealing with a lot of mental shit. And I would say that was actually the lowest I've ever been in my life, was a year ago. And I deleted all my social media and all that shit. And Norse still had it, but I had someone handling that. Like I avoided social media, and I remade a personal account because of the podcast. We were getting that launched. I'm like, well, I want people to be able to like find me on there and shit. I don't want to make Norse all about the podcast. So this can kind of be like the social media for the podcast, whatever. And now, because the podcast is like growing pretty well, I get people that come into the gym. Like, I own the gym. I'm on the other side of the gym right now. Like, we're over here recording. The gym's right over there. People are lifting weights. But I come into the gym and people are like, "Are you Andy?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I own this gym. They're like, "Well, I didn't think you'd come here." I'm like, I live 4 minutes away. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, did you just join? Like, and I don't like talking. When there are people that approach me like that, it makes me uncomfortable. So I'm like, I try to switch it around to them immediately. I'm like, well, what's your name? What are you doing? Like, how are you liking the gym? Whatever. But yeah, it's definitely weird, man. But it goes back to that. It's like, we're just regular fucking dudes. Like you guys just did a thing with Matt Vincent, right?
Yeah.
So Matt's got a huge following, and Matt's just a regular bro as well. Like, it's not, and that I think people need to like remember that. Not necessarily with me, because I'm not a fucking big deal in the least bit, but anyone can achieve the same shit. Like, whatever I can achieve, anyone else can, and it's the same with anybody else, unless you're fucking Elon Musk, and like I can't compete with Elon, but the rest of the world I can compete with. But I think that's like, you definitely can't put. Norse used to actually have a shirt that said "Kill your idols," and the whole idea behind that is like, yeah, don't ever put anyone on a pedestal. Like, why would you do that? It freaks me out. And hopefully this doesn't offend you guys, because I know football is huge over there, but it never makes sense to me why grown men would wear a shirt with another man's name on their back, or they have a whole man cave and there's pictures of this man, these athletes all over their walls, but there's no pictures of them and their families. It's just a bunch of other dudes, that they're never going to meet, and this person doesn't even know who they are. So it's like, you can't put people on a pedestal, because they're just regular people as well. They all deal, and what people don't realize is that everyone deals with their own shit. Everyone is dealing with shit, and the more, I guess, I don't know, because I'm not famous, but I imagine the more fame that you get, the more shit you have to deal with, and you are a fucking emotional wreck 90% of the time whenever the camera's not on.
Yeah, definitely. I'd also like to say, because we're Scottish, we're fucking unoffendable, so you can say anything you want to us. We're the last frontier of fucking snowflakes. We don't do that shit here.
Well, there's nothing wrong with sports. It's just that people get very obsessive about it.
I know what you're saying, but one of the things I think the thing that turned it for me, maybe Ali would tell you the same, was we had on quite early on. We had on Robin Dreek, who was the FBI's, the former head of counterintelligence for terrorism within the FBI.
Wow.
And we thought about changing the name of the podcast, like Silly Goose Gang. This fucking guy worked for the FBI. and genuinely super nervous. And then we spoke to him, and he was like, "Oh man, are you kidding? The Silly Goose Gang, two Scottish guys, couldn't wait to speak to you. I've been looking forward to this all day." I'm like, "Oh, he's just a guy. He's just Robin." Like,
Yeah, man.
we had this weird idea of he worked for the FBI. He's like super serious. No, he's just Robin. He liked CrossFit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we kind of went, "Oh, these are all just people." So we stopped looking at it as in terms of this guy's a Navy SEAL. You know, we spoke to Jack Carr, and that was another one which was pretty nerve-wracking. And then you speak to Jack, and he's the fucking nicest guy in the entire world.
And that's usually what you experience, man. Like with
Yeah.
anyone, most people, like I think it's hard to get a name for yourself nowadays if you are a shitbag. So if someone does have a name for themselves, they're probably pretty solid people.
Yeah. So, so many times. I mean, Kelly Pavlik. I remember showing Ali. We spoke. Kelly Pavlik was the man in the middleweight division, and I remember showing Ali my heart rate monitor, and I was like, "Dude, my fucking heart rate is 140. Like it's 100." I was terrified, shitting myself. And again, Kelly. You know, me and Kelly are now Instagram friends, and you know, which is insane. And it's just like, oh no, he's just Kelly Pavlik from Youngstown. He's just a guy who was incredibly successful at boxing for a long time. But
you know it's cool though.
Those things, and it all comes the same. And everybody just, as you perfectly said, all their own people dealing with their own shit. And that's all it is.
What's cool though is that, you know, you kept saying how nervous you were to talk to these people, but you still went through with it. A lot of people would never even bother doing that, but you guys, it's like, okay, this dude's like a big deal. It's a little intimidating talking to him, but I'm still gonna fucking do it. And you push past that discomfort.
Yeah.
And as a result, now you have like this solid fucking friend that also probably opened up more opportunities for you. And I think, you know, that's what it boils down to everything. The more that you get out of your discomfort zone, or the more that you get out of your comfort zone and embrace discomfort, that's going to open up doors of opportunities for you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally. It's the most common question we get asked, isn't it, Chris? Because when I'll release out who we've got coming on, and sometimes there'll be those names like a Jack Carr, a Kelly Pavlik, an Andy Lewis, those kind of level of guests, and people will say, "How did you get them to come on?" And I'll be like, "Do you want to know the secret? I asked them." And everyone goes, "What?" Yeah. And I go, "I asked them." And they go, "But what happens if they say no?" I'll be like, "Cool, no worries." They forget about me instantly that they've said no, or they don't read the message, because it's totally cool. However, what about the flip side of that? They say yes, and then we get to speak to Jack Carr, then we get to speak to Kelly Pavlik, then we get to speak to Robin Dreek, then we get to speak to Andy Lewis that I've been listening to on the Norse Mentality podcast for the last year. That's the flip of that opposite. People go, "But what happens if they say no?" So what? So what happens if they think you're an idiot? Guess what? I am an idiot. I know that, so I don't worry about the fact I'm an idiot.
Well, it's just like with jiu-jitsu.
We can be us. We can be us. We can't be anyone else other than Ali and Chris, and we're fucking idiots. So let's just run with that, and it works.
And it works for you. It's also the same with jiu-jitsu as well. Like going into a gym in general, if you're just getting started, it's a little nerve-wracking for everybody. You know, squats and shit are fucking they're awkward movements. But going into like jiu-jitsu or even Muay Thai or any martial arts, that's a different level of discomfort. But it's the people that are willing to do that you get in there, and everyone at your guys' gym is probably solid because you're getting around like-minded people that are willing to get out of their comfort zone in order to improve themselves. And as a result, you guys have a solid group of fucking friends. And that's what I always tell people too, because we get asked, you know, we do Q&A shit for the Norse Mentality. And this reoccurring question is, you know, how do I meet more like-minded people? You go where fucking like-minded people are. If you're focused on self-improvement, you don't go to the bar every weekend. You go and you sign up for jiu-jitsu, or you go to like a cool gym that you vibe with, and those people are going to have the same priorities as you. Or if you're a business owner and you want to like grow your business, you go to where other business owners hang out, like, or you get on a podcast with them, you know, like you have a podcast and you say, "Hey, I want to meet more business type people. Let's talk to them." But yeah, I mean, that's one of the questions we get asked the most is, how do I meet more like-minded people? You fucking go where like-minded people are, and you stay away from the places that they wouldn't hang out at.
And I think it's super important for these conversations to happen and to speak to these people, and for you know, guys, because we're all guys, you know, for women the same thing. but I don't know if there's a term in America, but like it's a beautiful term in Scotland, like a rising tide lifts all ships. I don't know if that's something you guys say. It's so
I've heard
true.
of that before. Yeah.
It's just like if everybody helps everybody, we can all get better. If you're just constantly surrounded by negative people, people who are always drunk, people who take drugs, whatever it is, you're always going to be a fucking bum.
You're going to be. And like, I know I sound like a fucking asshole at times saying this to people, but I've said it on the podcast and shit. It's, if you hang out with fucking losers, you're going to be a loser.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a loser, then you hang out with people that are better than you. You hang out with people that are where you want to be. And then you model those people. So say if you're hanging out with some dude that's deadlifting 700 pounds, or say you want to deadlift 700 pounds, you start hanging out around the dude that deadlifts 700 pounds. He's going to give you pointers. He's going to push you. You're going to realize that you can maybe do that as well. Like if you don't want to be a fucking loser and don't hang out with losers, you need to hang out with people that are ahead of you and where you want to be, because that's the roadmap. They already have it figured out. So you just model what the fuck they did and you get there yourself one day.
So just this past week, there's been a few young guys been training for a while now, and some of them have been invited to our we've got 3 classes a week at jiu-jitsu that are kind of more advanced things. So some of the younger guys have been coming along, and there's 2 or 3 of them that have a lot of potential. And the last questions. So I've got quite a nasty armbar, and I have a really nice Ali will attest to this, because he's been subbed by it 3,000 times. But they were asking about it and they couldn't quite figure it out. So then I showed them, like stayed behind, saying, "This is how we do it. This is how we set this up. Instead of doing this." So it's basically said, some hand stuff. And but they actually asked, and it's good to actually teach them, because but there's loads of young guys who come in, they don't, cool, I'm done, finished, bye. But to actually have some of the younger guys ask the question, and then you could show them it. I'll show you, no problem. But they're really keen, and it's nice to see some of these younger guys being really keen, and then it's nice to actually be one of the older guys who's like, I'll show you. This is how we do it. Now do it to me. Drill it on me 3 or 4 times. Cool. It's actually
and
quite
those
nice.
dudes are going to, those guys are going to be rock stars in 10 to 20 years. Like the kids that stay behind and ask you for help are going to be so much further ahead than the rest of their generation, just because of that one thing, having the courage to ask for help. And most people want to help other people, especially if it's something that you're passionate about. Like I'm passionate about business. If you want to get me going, you come to me and you ask me a business question and I'll talk to you all damn day. Same with fitness, stuff like that. People feel like they're a burden when they ask people for help. But if you ask someone for help with something that they enjoy, they would love to help you. But most people just don't have the courage to do that. They don't, their anxiety gets the best of them and they get the sweats and all that shit. But those kids that asked you for help, man, I would love to know where they are in 10 to 20 years, because I can guarantee they're going to be absolute studs.
Yeah, they will be. And one of the things that's quite interesting, again, as we get older, I used to always think sometimes, like somebody would ask, when we're maybe early 20s, and when we're all in our early 20s, we're all fucking morons. But people used to say things, or ask you something, you'd be like, that's a stupid fucking question. What a dumb question to ask me. And then you get older and you go, well, it's not a dumb question, because they didn't know they did the right thing.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I didn't understand that part. This is part of growing up, I suppose. But now it's like, oh yeah, okay. It's not actually a dumb. Sometimes people ask you dumb fucking questions, but generally, that not the same thing. It's somebody who's actually trying to figure something out, and they're asking you because they probably think you know. And I understand that now, whereas when I was younger, I didn't. Of course, people still ask you dumb questions, but yeah, it's something that I used to get annoyed quite regularly. Like, fucking, it's just a stupid fucking question, man. That's dumb.
The biggest turning.
If you don't know the answer, it's not dumb.
It's not a dumb question. The biggest turning point for me, and this happened almost exactly a year ago, actually, because I was down in Colombia doing some stuff. But the biggest breakthrough for me in every aspect of my life was realizing that most people are trying their best. Like, I think 99% of people are legitimately trying their best with the tools that they are given. They may have had a fucked up child. Let you saw on parents as a reason, because this was kind of like where I got clarity on it, and it really helped me work through some childhood issues. Was my parents weren't the best, like most people, just like I'm not the best parent or anything like that. They could have done better, but they were also fucking 18 years old when they had me. And they were fucking kids still themselves. But when I finally like understood that concept that everyone is trying their best with the tools that they are given, with the way that they view the world and all these other things, when you realize that, it's a lot easier to live, and it's a lot easier to not be angry at everybody, because you know what, this person's trying their fucking best. Like, I might think that they're an idiot, but at the end of the day, like, they're trying their best, and that's okay. And just like when someone does you wrong, it's like, oh, well, they did that because they thought it was the best thing to do. It was fucked, but they thought it was the best thing to do.
Trying your best is not a straight line. Like, everybody's best is a different level. You know what I mean? So
it's all perspective, man. It's all perspective.
It's like jiu-jitsu. When I try my best, I'm really good. When Ali tries his best, he's not that great. So same thing. I see my shots and I take them.
You're good at it, man.
Yeah. So, man, we're like, somebody must be missing you someplace. Like, that's like an hour and 45 minutes we've had a hold of you. I feel bad now.
That's good, man. We'll have to do this again sometime.
I was just going to say, like, some, you alluded to business, so I'm involved in 2 businesses. So man, maybe we should do something. Talk about some business.
You want to do a whole podcast episode talking about business? I'm down with that, man. If it helps one person start a business, I'd be stoked on that. I think entrepreneurs. I don't think entrepreneurship is for everybody, but I think you have entrepreneurs as well, and I think that it is for certain individuals. Entrepreneurship is the only way, and it's certain people probably like yourself, but especially me. I do very poorly with authority. Like, I knew that at a very young age. Like, when someone tells me what to do, I don't even care if they're right. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not going to do that. So, like, I knew at a very young age I was going to have to work for myself because there was no other option. But certain people, they just have it. It's part of their DNA, I think. Like, I legitimately think that entrepreneurship is part of people's DNA. So yeah, man, if you want to do a podcast and we just talk about business and maybe it helps someone, that'd be cool.
Definitely. I agree wholeheartedly with. I think there's doing a podcast, whether you're selling t-shirts or starting a business, there's a certain point of a leap of faith. You have to just say, because everybody's looking for the right time. There is no fucking right time. The right time
doesn't exist.
Fucking do it.
Doesn't exist.
How do you run a marathon? Well, you start by starting.
How do you start running?
How do you start a podcast? People have asked me and Ali this a million times. People don't believe it. Like, we literally started with 2 iPhones and it was Skype at the time. No headphones, no nothing. iPhones on a stand, record it. That's how it was done.
I love it.
You start by fucking starting. It sucked. It was terrible.
Oh, awful.
But we started. We started, and that leads to here. And tomorrow night, we'll have a, like I said beforehand, Dr. McCullough, which is going to get us cancelled. But you have to start by starting. And it doesn't matter, if you just want to start a business, you have to start. You have to have some kind of plan. What's the plan? What and all this has to get adjusted through time, but you have to just start.
I get asked that a lot. People ask me, like, what was my business plan for Norse? I'm like, I didn't have a fucking business plan. It's like I said in the beginning of this episode, I started making t-shirts and I sold them out of the trunk of my car for a year. And then one day I came up with the bright idea to put them online. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll make social media for this thing. Like, there was no plan. And same with the gym. I was like, I'm going to open up a gym and I'll figure it out. But that's the thing is, like, you need to have confidence in yourself of your ability to succeed. And if you believe in yourself, and I just said that and it sounds super fucking cliche, but it's true. Like, if you believe in yourself enough that you will succeed, then you're going to fucking succeed. And if you don't, it's like, well, like, say if I lost everything right now, say, I don't know how that would happen, but say I lost everything. Norse was no longer a thing. My whole life, purpose, meaning, everything just fucking disappeared. I know with absolute certainty that I will have something else going within 30 days because I've already figured it out at this point, and if it's even a whole new endeavor that I know nothing about, I know that I can fucking figure it out. And it's like I was saying earlier with with knowledge, you can learn anything that you want to learn. I didn't know how to do marketing. I didn't know how to do a podcast or anything. I looked it up and I learned, and then I started doing it. Everyone has that capability unless you live in like a third world country, and even they have cell phones now.
Yeah. When it comes to business, so many people ask me questions as well. We do okay. I do okay with a couple of businesses, and I always say to people, like, if you're providing a good service at a reasonable price and you're nice to people, the chances are it's going to work. Like you'll
all
make a
business
living.
boils all business boils down to is providing value to other people in exchange for money.
Yeah.
But that's the issue now, is that super easy, which we're already getting started on this business podcast, it sounds like. But it's so easy to start a company now. A company where you make an Instagram account and you think you're a fucking CEO or something. But what people don't understand is like, well, I'm doing these t-shirts and no one's buying them. Why the fuck would they? Like, why would they buy the t-shirt? What value are you providing to those people? The only reason that Norse has some cool designs, but I think the reason that it has grown to the point that it is because there's a whole mindset behind it. Like I'm helping eliminate the world of mediocrity. Like that is our goal. That's what we talk about. That's what we base every decision off of, is just eliminating the world of mediocrity. But people don't grasp that idea. They think that something is cool and they go, oh, I'm going to start a business with this. Well, what is that doing for other people? If you're not providing value to other people, then you're not going to have a successful business.
Yeah. So I something else that I do for fun is I've designed a few rash guards, had a few rash guards made, and but I have no interest in doing that as a business. That's purely for fun. But it would be so difficult to start that as a business. So difficult because everybody does it. So I've got a few, and I'm pretty sure I won't have one for you. I think I've only got small and mediums left now. I'm going to assume that you're what size of like t-shirt would you normally wear?
A rash guard, probably like an XL large, something like that.
So I don't have any of those left, but or I would have sent you one. But I've got fucking. It's really. Ali's been messing you, so I'll get Ali to send you a picture. But it's basically William Wallace, rear naked choking, Loch Ness monster, and some tartan sleeves.
Awesome.
Fucking really cool.
It's got like tartan sleeves on it.
Yeah.
Sleeves.
Oh, that's sick.
If I don't have one for your size. If you want one for the gym, I'll send you one, no problem. I love just playing with ideas, but to actually make that business would take so much time and effort. It's not really going to work.
It's not easy, man. I think people they think it's easy, and then they don't realize it. It's like when you see successful people are like, oh, it must be nice. It's like, yeah, they fucking busted ass for 20 years.
That's the one. That's the one that fucking annoys me so much. It fucking annoys me up so fucking much. I swear. It's like, oh yeah, it's easy for you. What the fuck? Where were you at 5 o'clock? Where the fuck were you at 5 o'clock this morning? Because I got my workout done at 5 o'clock this morning before you went out your fucking bed, and I was still at work at 9 o'clock last night because some shit went wrong, and somebody has to put the big boy pants on and fix it.
Well, that's the main thing that makes me fucking infuriated, especially with like the younger generation, my generation, I guess, is this whole hatred for rich people. I see it all the time, even though they still support these rich people by buying the fucking Mac, and they buy everything off Amazon and all this other shit. But they, at the same time, they'll post their fucking rhetoric on social media about how fucking evil rich people are, and about how they're the scum of the earth and all this shit. And I was like, okay, well, you're never going to be rich because you've got this toxic fucking mindset and this victim mentality that poor you don't have $1 million, so you're not ever going to, compared to like someone with a growth mindset that goes, okay, well, this person's fucking rich. How can I model that person for success? How can I also learn how to make some money? I might not make as much as this person, but at the same time, they did something right. How can I do that as well? But that's what makes me, it irritates the shit out of me, because I see it a lot, even with people that I know, and I just end up fucking like muting them or unfriending them in general because I don't want to see their bullshit. But yeah, it's this whole hatred for successful people, and not even rich people, successful people. You have a generations of people now that hate successful people. And it's like, you're never going to be fucking successful with that mindset. And then, to me, from the outside looking in, it's like, how do you not see this? But it's the fucking truth.
I've seen so many pictures on social media of people, like, with them sitting with a Mac in Starbucks with a Smash Cap. Smash
Yeah,
Cap.
with their fucking commie stickers on the Mac.
you
Oh,
fucking
okay.
serious?
All right, bud.
You don't understand how fucking stupid you are. That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. What's her name? Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, the tax of rich you dress on. It was like a $2,000 dress. And you fucking stupid. It's just like
It is mind blowing, which we can go on a whole rant about that. But
That's another podcast.
we got 2 more podcasts lined up, guys.
This has just been old men complaining a lot, I think. But
yeah, that's
but it's fine. So we're pushing on for 2 hours now, man. We should really let you go.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I look forward to doing it again.
Definitely, man.
Anytime. Well, thanks very much, Andy Lewis from Norse Fitness and Norse Mentality. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
Thanks, Andy.
The Silly Goose Gang Podcast.